Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Let's see what we have going on here. What do these tea leaves have to say? We have the little tick, 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 tick of the cat. No. I love you, but you have to keep going. This cat and his little hair, he's just shedding all the time. And I thought it would be done by now, but it just is not. I'm sure he'll find a way to sneak up here. So anyways, our card for the night for this reading is Lust / Strength. In the Thoth deck, it is kind of a depiction of Babylon, riding the beast with many faces. Okay, and this has a lot to do with, well, lust, right? But also self-control, making good decisions, delayed gratification. And, just really taking those fiery, creative, lustful, desiring energies and manifesting them in your life in a way that is empowering for you. Okay, so I want to start here. We have this interesting pair of eyes right there. And above it, it seems like we almost have a heart with wings, almost arms too. It seems to me, it looks almost like some kind of entity, some kind of, abstraction, but with this kind of big feeling of love, of the ecstasy, airiness of a beloved, of a really a connection that is so enchanting that it transports you, right? It gives you those wings. You are flying. And I don't know that this is necessarily an actualized thing. Maybe this is come to pass. Maybe this is a feeling that you yearn for. Maybe this is a feeling that comes from that interior place and you have spent so long figuring out, how do I manifest this in my life? How do I turn this relationship with this interior landscape that I have? How do I turn this into a thought form? How do I apply this to an earthly connection? And so I'm looking at these eyes and I feel this kind of a dream of something unseen, kind of something out there, something in the dark, just kind of calling to you, something urging you to come come, find me, come, find me, right? I have this feeling of you stop like a deer. Like a deer will pause and listen. And you listen, and you listen, and you try to think, where is this coming from? What is this? It sounds like it's familiar, like it's home, but it's also, is it a trick, right? Is this something I'm really hearing, or is this what I want to hear? And I think, this is that place, that dreamy place where you find yourself sometimes. Deep in thought, contemplation, wide awake, sitting straight up in the middle of the night, trying to remember, where did I come from and where am I going? What is this thing that is calling me? And I think that with the things that have been going on, your heart is open. You're in a place where there's a lot of openness, vulnerability. Your heart is exposed to the world. Let's go here. We have, it looks not unlike the devil or some kind of devil type being. And so this tells me there is, there's this deep, deep desire. And I think that it's all about connection. It's all about that infallible love, or maybe that love that is so all-consuming that it doesn't matter how destructive it is. And this desire for it to present itself to you, to find it, to find that perfect configuration. Because when you look for it in, places that feel artificial, people that it's very, you're trying to make it happen, make it work with this person. And that might be good enough, but it's not this kind of love. It's not this kind of desire. This is not the beloved. And so I think in these times when we could be taken away by the wind if it blew just right, we must be mindful of our engagements with others. We must be mindful of the energy we take in and the energy we put out. We must be mindful of what we allow in our lives. I'm not saying that it's a desperation, but it kind of is. I think that it's easy to feel just enough altered by a want a desire, a need. That you'll put up with things that usually you would not. Things that seem wholly unreasonable. And so you must be mindful. You know, the things that we take into ourselves are alive and shifting. They change, they grow, they evolve. Sometimes into a terror. So we must be careful. And you know, you have that intuition. You have that clear lightning bolt of a feeling. You know when something's not right. And sometimes, yeah, it's not right. It doesn't, it's not the best thing in the world. But it's not the worst either. And sometimes we have to just go for good enough. And I'm not talking about love, but in other aspects of our life. Have you ever been couch shopping? Sometimes you're not going to find that perfect thing, and you just have to find good enough. At least that's my experience with furniture. Once in a while I'll luck out and the perfect thing will come and usually it's just under very unfocused circumstance. It just happens it just comes into my life. Almost never when I go looking. So let's see. I think we have this lovely little, sheep, lamb. And I think that this is all about contemplation. I also think that this is where that piece of, I just kind of talked about this in the Virgo reading, this kind of delayed gratification. Okay. That there is almost more joy, excitement, the ability to stay the course when there is this kind of limiting, right? Never quite giving in to what it is you are looking for, desiring, trying to obtain. I think so often, and I don't think I think Virgo, Scorpio are not unlike each other in this way. Winning the thing, working so hard for the thing, and then getting it, that's like the least interesting part. It's the struggle, the planning, the strife, the little moments of genius when you figure something out, the courtship, all of these things. These are the things that make it worth it. And so I think, reminding yourself of that, going slowly, taking your time, kind of splendering over the moments, the impressions, the sensations. This is where the nectar is, the honey, the mana, right? I got really quiet in here. The air went off finally. It's been so hot everywhere. I hope, well, if you're in the northern hemisphere, I hope wherever you are, it's not too awfully hot. I know it is, you know, the thing for me in the heat. And I grew up in a place where it was very hot. But for whatever reason, I don't tolerate it well anymore. And it is the thing that unwinds me in my mentally. I just feel like a elemental chaos being. I just cannot do it. And so it's hard because it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And that's the way we're headed, I suppose. So, I don't know. But I hope that you are managing as well as you can. Okay, let's see. We also have this it reminds me of, I have like a sprouter thing, and you sprout alfalfa, little sprouts for like sandwiches and salads and things. And I just touched it. This reminds me of that. Just something so fresh and new, like a renewed energy in your life. If you are, and I know you guys all love my talking about gardening and things. If you are a person that grows plants, and especially if you grow from seed some of the things, and you are, you know, understand the process of what it feels like to start a tray of little sprouts and seedlings and things, that is such a dear feeling. And so when this energy pops up in your life, it is something that you want to dote over, protect, right? So whatever is coming up, you know, nurture it. It will be very much worth it. And, you know, overall, I feel like there's just a very dreamy quality, surreal quality, magical quality to where you're at right now. And I think that at times that can lead to a lot of feelings of sentimentality, of nostalgia, but also really blurring of those dream worlds and regular mundane life, okay? But I don't think that that's a bad thing for you, because I think that you have a potent dream world, a very potent interior world, and you know, most likely in a configuration of maybe some kind of healer, you know, occultist, magical worker, whatever, a diviner, you know, whatever, a shaman or whatever it is. So this is kind of what you wait for to align itself with you, for you to align yourself with it. Because, you know, if you are a practitioner of any kind, you know there is an ebb and flow to this, and you can wait for weeks, months, years for things to come into alignment. You can continue to do the work, you know, the research, the learning, ritual, whatever you do. And all of that is well and good, but there is something about a natural, it snaps into place, and you are walking in that realm between. And there's nothing that can get you there. Maybe plant medicine, but that, you know, is only kind of so momentary. right? So, I think that this is a very important time for you, and to make use of it. And I think part of what keeps you here in the ability to access these, corridors, rooms, doorways, gateways, whatever you want to call them, is, again, with that kind of delayed gratification. There is the impulse to go quickly to immerse yourself in all of it so deeply all the time. Everything else falls away. This is what you want to do all the time, all the time. And of course, but here's the thing, is that we have to manage the lower spheres of our being, our, material kingdoms, and those must be upheld, right? So that we can access these higher places, or interior, or however you, whatever paradigm you subscribe to. So I think it's important to slow yourself down. Take it easy with it. Go slow. Go slow. And, let it come to you. Let things unfold and furl as they will. And they will come. The revelations will come. The ecstatic moments, the patterns, the signs, all of it. It will show itself to you. But it's less about that and more about taking care of the vessel and having the eyes to see. The perceptions. Not being distracted by transient things. So, let's see, what else? Spilling tea all over the place, these little drops here. And so, to go a little further with this balancing act, I think that it's important to, focus on some intentional movement, focus on, whatever it means to you for having wellness in your waking life. Self-care, making sure you're hydrated, your sleep is restful, you are abiding the routines that work for you, all of these things. And I think that, having goals that are relatable for you, which I can't tell you what those are because they're individual to each of us, right? And really, I think ultimately it's just about feeling okay, right? It doesn't have to be any specific thing, just feeling okay. So, focusing on that stuff while also having these kind of a little bit out there moments, right? So keeping yourself kind of grounded too. And whatever works for you. I know we talk about a lot of mindfulness stuff here. Getting into nature, incorporating some of that intentional movement with that. Taking care of things. I think taking care of plants, taking care of, you know, cleaning rituals, whatever it is, you know, these things, they keep us in movement in our worlds, right? Emotionally, psychically, physically, and all of that's important. Okay. So anyways, I want to thank you for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor, and I love doing Scorpio readings. I really do. They're always kind of, I don't know, just a little bit more, more the things that I like to think about all the time. So they're easy readings for me to do. Sometimes, you know, I love doing all the readings, and I am a Capricorn ascendant, so I do enjoy those readings, but most of those are, there's so much more logic to them. Sometimes I find myself like, you know, kind of trying to really get clarity and inspiration throughout the reading, whereas like with a Scorpio, I just can talk and talk and talk. It's very magical kind of realm to be in with. So anyways, if you have not subscribed, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it's helping us with the engagement and growing the channel. And I say us because we're a community here, and you know, this channel would not be anything without all of you. I really enjoy getting to know you all. You leave just lovely comments. You are so generous with your sharing, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So we will talk again very soon, Scorpio.